I was a senior in my high school back in South River, New Jersey. The mayor of our town sat me in the hall and he showed me a letter he received from Congressman Sutphin, in which the letter said, "Please pick a page, boy." And we came down Maryland Avenue in Northeast, and I always remembered the first impression I had, seeing the dome of the Capitol lit up at dusk. My first reaction was, this is a good place to be. And I guess at this point, in any story, you would say, and the rest is history.
This event this afternoon is the kickoff of the first ever all-class homecoming reunion of Pages.
For 1 second. Okay. So welcome to Webster Hall, the Senate Page dorm. This is Elizabeth Roach, the director of the school and dorm. On this floor was a dormitory, then we'll walk down the hall, and then downstairs is school.
When I met Tom, I was 13 at the time, and he was 12, and two young guys away from home. So it's pretty easy to bond when you're 12 years old. You don't necessarily psychoanalyze each other. It's just kind of normal.
Partly because you're around much older guys, so it was much easier to gravitate toward people closer to my age, and I like Charlie. I've always liked Charlie, and he was a good person to become a friend with, and he was a good roommate. And I can't say we have kept contact continually over the years, but we have kept contact. I had a couple experiences coming back. I remember one time I came back by myself. The school wasn't at the Library of Congress. 305 New Jersey might have been torn down by then. I had a real feeling of not being able to make contact, linkage with my past. Whereas this reunion has provided that opportunity to say, yes, your past, it was there, you were there. So it was kind of novel to come to this reunion and be roommates again. We thought it was kind of an interesting way to get together again.
Group in the 50s. We probably had 20 or 30 over there at the dinner. I was looking last night at them, and maybe one or two were retired. And what amazed me is but all the rest of us are still going strong. We're still working. We're still committed to what we're doing and engaged with contemporary society and contemporary politics. The transformative experience that we all had as Pages made us strong citizens, which is why the loss of the Page program is, for the country, significant.
First of all, the Alumni Association, although it's new, was so sorely needed, and the organizers have done a terrific job. If we can somehow get all of the people that ever were here, members, and the stories that we hear from other Pages, if they're important, they're part of history. If we can somehow get them all categorized, I think that is just so valuable to our nation's history.
Yes. Just right out. Right outside. Thank you.
Back tomorrow.
Oh, dear word.
I work with my brother. Private room. You guys have some interviews in the room.
It was so nice. It was really nice sitting down and be able to.
So we had, in addition to some of those advocacy efforts, we also, as many of you saw, had maybe near hundreds of alumni at least submit op-eds, letters, appear on the radio, appear on television in the wake of the cancellation. We had probably op-eds in every single major newspaper in the country from Page alumni, and that was pretty impressive to see that happen. We had folks on NPR, CBS, NBC, ABC, all across the board. But we are now, like I said, sort of shifting into phase 2. And that's something that I wanted to talk with you all today about, is outside of the documentary, we need to think of ways to keep the Page program and its memory in the public eye and in front of members, and keep them aware and keep pressing.
There's no school you go to become a member of Congress. Members tend to mentor the new members and kind of show them the ropes. And there are a significant number of Pages who have gone on to public office, either in their home states or even coming back here as a congressman or a senator. If you only count that, the program has paid for itself.
This is a piece of our history. This is a part of us. Granted, Pages are just a little tiny piece, but if something were to happen to the Washington Monument, you know, you'd be out there spending millions of dollars to save the monument. We saved the California condor. This is a piece of history too, and we've let it go. Yeah, we're getting the videotapes and we're getting the archives and all that, but it just will really suck if it just becomes something on the shelf in the Smithsonian Museum.
And it is a pleasure to welcome you all to the first ever all-class homecoming reunion of former U.S. House of Representatives, U.S. Senate, and U.S. Supreme Court Pages. Welcome. As I call out the year of your Page service, I'm going to ask you to sit down. Down, please. 98, 96, 85, 84, 83. This is our 40th. I'm in class 72. 72, 1971, 1976. Got a big class in 56. 1955, 1954. And I'm not going to fight out who was the oldest here, who was there first. But I'm just going to, I want to acknowledge. I read 1972 already.
So to those who are saying that the Page service is over and is merely a historical footnote, I say you're dreaming dreams of success which will never be achieved. Because the living proof of the service is in this room. And I don't think we're going to make this a historical artifact. And so I look forward to working with many people in this room. These people are transients. They too shall pass. And the Page service, I believe, in the House of Representatives will rise again. And I hope someday we will meet in a room like this to celebrate that very occasion. Thank you very much.
You know, they say there are these defining moments in your life. Becoming a Page is one of those things. You never get away from the fact that you did that. One of the coolest things that you get to do is when a bill gets placed into the hopper. You know, this is House resolution and it's being handed to you to be placed into the hopper, and then it gets read. You think about the kids over the years, the landmark legislation, and that they were the one that physically walked it over from the member and placed it in the hopper. That's really, really cool.
Those relationships, you know, we're 43 years later, and we're still as close as we were when we were all serving on the Hill.
school. It was pretty
basic, like
basic.
my little tiny 4-room schoolhouse type of thing.
But the idea of going to school in the attic of the Library of Congress is pretty neat.
And, you know, David, to this day, in the back of my mind, I can close my eyes and still watch that sunrise come up, realizing what we had and how special it was. Well, what I'm seeing one of my buddies for 30 years later. That's what a reunion's all about.